Hey everybody, how we doing? I'm still drinking my coffee. COVID-19 is not going to keep me from having my coffee. So far, so good. That's good. So I was sitting here making my coffee and having my office hours, and it just dawned on me that I miss everybody and wanted to try to find some way to say hello. So I'm making this video. Um, Certainly not a professional production. Just having my afternoon cup of coffee and a snack. So just want to see how's everyone doing. That's a fig bar, a healthy fig bar. I love fig bars. Gotta have it with a cup of coffee. One second. So it is Thursday, March 26th. It's about, I don't know, 3:45. So for the most part, my office hours are done. And so I was just kind of sitting here trying to think what I could do to get ready for next week. And I just seriously was thinking about how all of you are doing. I know some of you are bored. Some of you are probably ecstatic that you have all this time off. But hopefully you're using a little bit of common sense and you're kind of keeping your distance, that whole social distancing thing, and just generally being safe, doing everything you're supposed to do. I know not everybody has the same type of situation outside of school, but no matter where you are, please try to stay safe and healthy and well, and we'll get through this, and I hope so soon. Sooner the better, but it looks like we're at least going to be separated for at least, another month through the 30th of April. So my guess is it's probably going to go into May, but we might be surprised. Who knows? But whatever happens, we'll work on it together. We are going to get it together, so don't panic. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things while I've got you here. Hopefully you're all here. Keep signing in. The planning guide, it's updated all the way through the 3rd of April, so that'll be through next week. Everything with the planning guide that I've already put out there, I made a couple of adjustments. Just make sure you're keeping track of that. You should be logging in every day and taking a look at that. So I log in all day long, and up at the top I can see who's actually logged in. It shows who's idle, who's logged in and doing nothing, who's active. So whatever you do, don't log in and walk away from your computer thinking that everything is looking good. If you're not actively doing something, it will show that you are idle. Administration has asked that we keep track of who's doing stuff, and so you'll notice on the planning guide and on the calendar that I added in an attendance form. And so the instructions are there, but I've already gotten some emails from people I know that probably aren't reading the instructions fully. Twice a week, sometime near the beginning, sometime near the end of the week, you should go into that Google form, fill it out completely. There's 2 questions to answer. Basically, the first one, you're describing specifically what you've done this week at that time, and then what you plan on doing next. So just avoid answers like, I've done what you've assigned for Monday and Tuesday, or I've done what you've assigned for today, or I'm going to do what you have for us planned for us next, which some of you have done. Don't do that. Keep filling that form out. I've gotten some instructions from Mr. Noel, and the attendance is something that is being tracked, and it is something that will be used as a minor grade. So keep in mind, for all of you, that is going to show up in your Q4 grades, and anything new will show up after April 1st. So everything that we're doing right now is basically review. If you're in the honors class, you'll notice that there's some stuff Monday and Tuesday that looks a little new, but you should recognize some of that stuff from your Biology 1 class. those particular type of reactions. And if you don't, just review that. But I'm going to have plenty of those videos on there. So essentially, in the honors class next week, you'll start seeing some new stuff related to what we were working on before we had to go home. And then in CP, it looks a little new, but essentially you're getting started on the work we would be doing if we were having like the real labs in class. So with there's some instructions that are there, but essentially anytime there's going to be an instruction, this is both CP and honors. Anytime you see an instruction that says like practice lab scenario, I'm always going to put some mock data, which basically means like some fake data. But it's going to be data from students in the previous semesters who were in class. So what I've done is I've taken some of their results, their data, and I filled it into the instructions. So what you should do is read the instructions as if you're actually in the lab and you're going to actually do that. So what I suggest doing is reading those instructions, sketch out a diagram, an illustration that kind of shows the process. Write out all of your reactions, your products. Remember, you're going to have to balance everything. Take a look at the materials list, and then it's going to be a good idea. You're going to want to make a data table for that particular lab. And of course, list any kind of data that's already there. And then you'll see that there's going to be blanks. And based on what you've done in the lab, what you've supposedly done in the lab, as you read the instructions, you pretend that this is you actually doing it. And based on the instructions that are there, you try to envision, okay, I did this, so according to the numbers that are given to me here, these were my results. You pretend that's your data that you measured, that you got in some way according to the instructions, and you use all that for your calculations. And I will have some practice video. I will have some video lessons where I'm going to actually go in and narrate on a whiteboard to show you kind of how to think through some of that. So don't panic too much. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. And once you get in the habit of doing this, you're going to find that it's really not too terribly difficult. It's a lot of just going back to understanding what you learned from Chem 1 with your different type of chemical reactions. Like remember there was 5 different types of reactions: synthesis, decomposition, etc. We're going to basically do a bunch of different type of labs, and for now they're just going to have to be pretend labs. So I'm going to give you the actual instructions for the labs we would do if we were in school, and we're going to learn from that. I know this sounds weird, or some of you might think this is weird. Some of you would expect that I'd have my own laboratory here at my house, but I don't. This is my dining room. Back there you'll see that's my sitting room. It's what we call the study. So when you come to the front of the house, we have a little study here. I've got a dining room here. I've got other stuff way over there. I don't have a laboratory, so I don't have any equipment where I can sit here and kind of demonstrate the stuff for you. But what I can do is give you those instructions and then kind of walk you through what's going on with it, and then answer any questions you might have. So with that said, remember, you should be filling out the Google form and be specific with your question. I get a copy of that, and once I get a copy of that question, then I'll respond to that. And some of you have already been using that. Not many of you. I've got maybe 8 questions from that form, and then I will respond to that pretty quickly, usually the same day, no later than a day later, because I have office hours every day. I am going to be, I'm looking at my notes here if you're curious what I'm doing. I'm working out a schedule, but starting next week. So the last week of, so Monday is what, March 30th? So that week through Friday, April 3rd, I'm going to start doing Google Meets where I will schedule specific times for first block, third block, and fourth block on different days. I'm not sure which day yet. And then the whole purpose will be to meet with just each of those small groups, those classes, and for anyone who needs to log on, who would like some live help with what we're doing in class, just to chat, just because you need, you're in your house and you just want someone to talk to. I mean, it's going to be a social thing, but at the same time, we're going to have to make sure you use proper etiquette because it is through the district server. So make sure that what we're doing has something to do with class, and then we can chat and all that good stuff like we would in class. So it's just going to be through a digital platform instead of in person. But we'll all be home, getting a drink cup of coffee while we're talking. This is going to be awesome. I think I've said more ums in this video than I say in class. I don't say very much. Do I? I don't think so. I don't think I say it. That's all I have on my notes. I want to keep this video short. I'm going to try to do this on a regular basis. Hope you're all well. I miss all of you. We're going to get through this. There was another I'm going to work on those ums. No more ums. Okay, I'm going to minimize the ums. I'll see you soon for another cup of coffee. Be safe. Wash your hands.